What's going on? Welcome in. Farzin Wasugan here with you on a Friday. One of the very rare occasions we are combining the Red Friday live chat and the Chief Zone podcast. Obviously, 2 episodes of the Chief Zone. We are just addition podcast. It's like Oprah. You get a podcast today, and you get a podcast today, and you get a podcast every day this week. We've been doing a podcast. 4 episodes of the Chief Zone podcast in 3 days. You're welcome, people. You are welcome. Certainly, boy, it's been a busy night for Kansas City sports. First, it's the Chiefs. They go out there and they get DJ Humphries, the big news for Kansas City today. And they also just traded Brady Singer to the Cincinnati Reds for second baseman Jonathan India and offensive or outfielder Joey Weimer. Okay. It's been a very busy night for Kansas City sports. Very busy night, to say the least. Okay, you guys know how the Red Friday live chat works. And again, we're combining the podcast and the live chat because this is obviously big news today with the Chiefs signing DJ Humphries. Well, let's talk about this one. Let's get into it. DJ Humphries. What do you need to know about DJ Humphries? Well, he is coming off an ACL tear, and the news broke this morning from Ian Rappaport. I believe he had it first, that his agents tried to put the word out there that he is medically cleared. He can go out there and play. And oddly enough, former NFL offensive lineman DJ Pugh, not DJ Pugh, I'm sorry, Justin Pugh, he went out there on Twitter and said he's going to Kansas City. Was fully confident that he was on his way to Kansas City. And that exact thing happened less than 12 hours later. I would say maybe about 9 hours apart, where the news came out that he's medically cleared and the Chiefs go out there and sign him, about 8 or 9 hours apart right there. So definitely a really big, really quick. Chiefs were very quick on this one here. And we got to get to Brett Veach later on, because the fact that Brett Veach constantly gets doubted and questioned by Kansas City fans, and I cannot comprehend why, I think that needs to come to an end. Like, if the previous moves didn't shut the doubters up about Brett Veach, I honestly don't know what will. Like, if this doesn't, I don't know what will. Yeah, Jem, I see your comment here. By the way, you guys know how the Red Friday live chat works. Please comment below. Ask me your questions. Let me know what's on your mind. Tell me how you guys are feeling. Because I want to hear from all of you on Facebook and on YouTube. I see the Instagram comments as well. Unfortunately, I don't think I can highlight Instagram comments. So if you guys want to chat along and you want your comment on the screen, go to Facebook or YouTube, because that unfortunately are the only 2 places that allow the comments to be displayed. But I really like this a lot. I really do. And I think Chiefs fans should feel pretty good about this. DJ Humphries, yes, is coming off a torn ACL, but that was, end of the 2023 season. That was against the Eagles. So enough time has passed to the point where he is medically cleared, which makes a lot of sense. And you look right now, DJ Humphries did make the Pro Bowl in 2021, and just some of the things that DJ Humphries did for the Arizona Cardinals in his career, had 3 straight seasons of 1,000 plus snaps at left tackle, did it from 2019 to 2021. 2022 had the back injury. Last year had the ACL injury. So he's dealt with some injuries, but if he can stay healthy, this would be a massive addition for Kansas City's offense. It's going to be a huge boost for the Chiefs offensive line. And I think in the long run, it's going to help Kansas City. Look, the issues with Patrick Mahomes not getting the ball out on time, the interceptions, getting the ball very late to Xavier Worthy when, if you get the throw out there a little more quicker, Worthy probably does not have to be in a very tough situation to make that catch. I think a lot of those things are going to be solved, and the problems on offense are going to be nullified. Essentially, the offense is going to feel alleviated a little bit with the addition of DJ Humphries. I really do believe that. Let me read you guys a stat here. In case, and I know, and I see your comment there, Donnie, but I'll just say this. If you don't feel good about this DJ Humphries signing, let me ask you this. Do you really feel confident that Kansas City can go out there and three-peat by having Kingsley Suamataia and or Wanye Morris at left tackle. Oh, but Farzine, the Chiefs won a Super Bowl the last 2 years with terrible offensive tackle play. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Do you think that can happen a third year in a row? I don't know. I truly do believe that if Patrick Mahomes had better protection in that Buffalo game, you win that game. And I think all year long, the offensive numbers would be much better. And I do think their point differential this season would be a little bit higher as well. Let me just read you guys this one stat here. 31 pressures allowed combined from Wanye Morris and Kingsley Suamataia. 31 quarterback pressures allowed. Just to give you guys an idea, only 4 offensive linemen have allowed more than 31 quarterback pressures this season. I think that stat right there is the evidence you need to know that this move had to happen. That stat right there justifies the signing of DJ Humphries. And I would have been okay with David Bakhtiari as well. Maybe his injury situation is worse than maybe we realize. Listen, I know Donovan Smith was the guy that, was out there and the Chiefs were in contact with. A serious question. What was Donovan Smith going to do for the Chiefs? What difference would you have gotten from Donovan Smith? So he's a veteran with bad pass blocking abilities, and then you have 2 youngsters with bad pass blocking abilities. What's the difference? Other than their age, what's the difference? Are you going to get a noticeable difference between the two of them? I don't think so. Maybe like if we're doing Madden ratings, maybe Kingsley is like a 60 and Donovan Smith would be a 65. It's still really, really bad. And Wanye Morris is like a 63 in between those two. Whereas with DJ Humphries, I mean, I would at least like to think this guy's a 75 or an 80. 80, okay, maybe a little too generous, but I still think this is, at the end of the day, a much better and viable option at left tackle. Hopefully he stays healthy. Because if you guys go back and watch that Buffalo Bills game, and I know a lot of people may not want to do that, or just any game this year, especially against Denver. Denver has a really good front seven. You saw Buffalo find a way to build almost like a circle around Patrick Mahomes. And by doing that, you trap Mahomes in that pocket, not letting him escape. And if no one's open, or if he's dealing with this pressure to the point where it's just too much, he's not going to be able to notice that there's someone open deep down the field. So I think this right here is the move that solves that issue right there. You're not going to feel trapped in that pocket. If you feel the need to move out of the pocket, hey, Patrick's done that many times, and it's worked very well for Kansas City for so many years. So this, to me, is a very good move for Kansas City's offense. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. Again, I know there are a few comments here and there, people not happy about it. I mean, you can't please everyone at the end of the day, but I think this is by far a big addition for Kansas City's offense. Hey, if you guys have a question, comment, whatever is on your mind, please comment below, and I'll get to every single comment on this Red Friday live chat here, because we got a lot of things to talk about here. I know everyone's going to have questions. People are going to have things to say. So let's get into it. By the way, I do want to make this clear. The signing is not official yet. These things are never official when they're first announced by the national media. My guess is it becomes official on Monday. Kind of like when what happened? It was on a Monday when the Chiefs got DeAndre Hopkins. I think it was on a Monday, and the Chiefs, Andy Reid specifically, when he did his press conference, he could not say a word because it was not official yet. You never know if someone does not pass their physical. You have to just kind of understand, hey, if that physical fails, then you will not sign the guy. So this is, all considering that DJ Humphries passes his physical, probably not going to be official until Monday. Maybe it could happen tomorrow. Maybe, not really banking on that right now. So just keep that in mind. Again, any questions, comments, whatever's on your mind, I want to hear from you guys tonight. That is what the Red Friday live chat is all about. So please drop your thoughts and anything you want answered below, and I will get to the questions as we go along tonight. You know what this reminds me of this season more and more? It's starting to remind me of to the 2019 season. How did the 2019 season end? Oh, that's right. The Chiefs got the win in Super Bowl 54. How did they get to Super Bowl 54, though? Because we got to take that step back a bit. What did Brett Veach do during that season? He made some in-season signings. Let me remind you, Steven Wisniewski, the offensive guard who came in, gave the Chiefs offensive line a nice little push there. And then on the defensive side, at the defensive line, they went and got Mike Pennell, who's a good run stopper. They went and got edge rusher Terrell Suggs, future Hall of Famer, longtime Baltimore Raven. And he came into Kansas City, and those two guys definitely helped on that defensive line. Now look at this season and what the Chiefs are doing. They're going out there, signing Kareem Hunt, trading for DeAndre Hopkins, trading for Joshua Uche, and getting DJ Humphries off the couch. Two guys off the couch, Hunt and Humphries, Hopkins and Uche from different teams. The Hopkins from the Titans and Uche from the Patriots, excuse me. So listen, again, I really don't understand the criticism that people constantly have to bring up with Brett Veach. It's like, what does this guy have to do to really prove himself? Not that I think Brett Veach or anyone in that Chiefs organization cares about the approval rating from Chiefs Kingdom. No disrespect, but I think sometimes Chiefs fans are really, I mean, they're really going out of bounds with criticism for Brett Veach. I mean, does he miss in the draft? Yes. Every single general manager misses in the draft. I don't care if you are the greatest general manager to ever exist in sports history. Every general manager will miss on draft picks. Belichick has missed plenty in New England. They still found a way to keep winning Super Bowls. Brett Veach has missed, but has still found ways to construct a roster that will lead Kansas City to, at the very least, in the Patrick Mahomes era, an AFC championship appearance year after year after year after year after year after year. I said it 6 times, right? Should have, because that's how many times it's been consecutively for Kansas City. They've gone to the AFC title game 6 years in a row. You don't get there by having a bad general manager who is too lazy to do a damn thing about your team. I mean, Kansas City's salary cap was not in the greatest position either, and he has done a lot to free up cap space during the season, which is not very easy to do. And that's allowed the Chiefs to go out there and get Hopkins, to get Uche, and now DJ Humphries. By the way, they're paying DJ Humphries $4.5 million. Now, he's not going to be he's not going to play this Sunday. It's going to be officially part of the team, probably not for Sunday. But I'm seeing a lot of people say, oh, he won't play until the playoffs or won't play until Christmas against the Steelers. Hell no. I do not agree with that one bit. Will he play this Sunday? No. Will he play next Sunday against the Raiders? I think he should. I'll say there's a 50-50 chance of that maybe happening. Maybe it doesn't. Definitely has to play against the Chargers. That is going to be a huge game. I know the Chargers, they were a little banged up that week. Had some players on defense missing. You definitely need DJ Humphries for that game. 100% you need DJ Humphries for that game. Because I don't trust Wanye Morris and Kingsley Suamataia against Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. I mean, no. I do not have any confidence in those offensive tackles. I know Juwan Taylor, he's kind of up and down, but at least that's not Patrick Mahomes' blind side. That's important. So hopefully this Chiefs team has some sort of a solution on their hands right now with DJ Humphries, because this offense desperately needs it. Patrick Mahomes needs it. And I mentioned how this is going to help Patrick Mahomes, not allowing the pocket to collapse like that, not allowing defenders to form that big circle around Mahomes and trap him in there in the pocket. You're going to have some flexibility, some movement freedom in that pocket there if you need to go to the left or go wherever. Hopefully, if the Chiefs want to consider pass blocking help with a tight end, a fullback, or a running back, they can maybe have that player focus more on the right side than the left side. Not to say that Humphries will be perfect. He'll have his moments. Every offensive lineman does. Creed Humphrey is the best center in the NFL, and he's at his moments this season as well, especially against Tampa Bay this year. So, look, I'm happy about it. I think this is going to help Patrick Mahomes, give him the time he needs, and I think you're going to notice a much different look on offense moving forward. All right. Enough of me talking. Let's get to you guys and your questions, comments, however you guys are feeling. Cool, making moves, getting Mahomes more protection, Veach picking up more offensive lineman garbage. I mean, listen, I know DJ Humphries may not be the all-star, Pro Bowl, all-pro offensive tackle from the last year or two, but who do you have right now that you can bring in if you're Kansas City? Who do you have right now? Jamie says, I think it's a great move. Left tackles have been really bad. Yeah, the Chiefs have had bad left tackle play for the 3 seasons now, including this year. And I guarantee you Mahomes is sick of it more than anyone else. Can't wait to see both Pacheco and Hunt in our backfield. When is Hollywood Brown coming back? Yeah, there was another question on Hollywood Brown as well from Donnie. We don't know. Andy Reid gets asked every week about Hollywood Brown, and he says he's making progress, and the media goes crazy. Oh, breaking news! Andy Reid says Hollywood Brown's making good progress. Andy Reid says this every week. Andy Reid does not give a timetable on this, so we really don't know. Could be late December, early January, or maybe the first playoff game. So that is when it will occur. Kelsey looks 20 years older. Really? I mean, I know he was held to 2 catches for 8 yards last game, but before that, I mean, he's playing much better, Donnie. I disagree about. I got a tweet this week from a Bills fan saying that Kelsey is washed up and he's going to finish with 900 yards. If Kelsey at 35 finishes with 900 yards, I would be thrilled. I would be 100% thrilled with that. Absolutely. Bottom line, our line are killing us. Mahomes ain't comfortable with getting downfield if he fields pressure all the time. That is true. You saw Super Bowl 58, Super Bowl 55. So many Super Bowls now, I can't even keep track. You saw Super Bowl 55. What happened? Ben says, still need a DB. We got a bunch of shitty weak ones. I mean, listen, I would say Najee Johnson's the weakest link there, but I wouldn't say you have a bunch of weak ones. Look, you're not going to have an all-pro at all 22 positions, Ben. And by the way, Ben, I'll say this too. I think with Humphries coming in and how it's going to help the offense, I think the offense is going to be in a place where they'll play better, and as a result, they'll score more. And as a result of that, I think you'll see the Chiefs actually play with the lead. By the way, we had 2 great guests this week. Defensive lineman Sean Smith and long snapper, also formerly of the Chiefs radio network, Kendall Gammon, on the podcast. Kendall was on today, and Sean was on yesterday. Sean Smith said something very interesting about how the Chiefs have played from behind in every single game this season. And when that happens, opposing teams are going to run the ball a lot more than pass. And that's why you're not seeing the sack production there, the stats, I guess, because you're not getting a lot of sacks and you're not getting a lot of interceptions. But if you go out there and you start playing with a lead, you have a 7-point lead or a 2-possession lead. Well, guess what? Opposing teams naturally are going to pass more. And as a result, what happens then is, let's just say this week, for example, Bryce Young down by 10. Okay, well, they're not going to run much, even though they've got a really good running back and another one, a rookie, who's going to make his debut this season, the second rounder, Jonathan Brooks. But sacks and interceptions, the 2 stats that people are making a big deal about, especially the sacks, those can only happen in passing situations. So when you're down by 10 points, okay, you're going to not be as relaxed. You'll be befuddled out there. And the Chiefs are capable of getting those sacks in those situations. Again, during a pressure moment, when you're down by multiple possessions, you're probably going to commit some turnovers and throw some interceptions. That comes with pressures and trying to sack a quarterback. So those stats will come if the Chiefs offense plays better. So I think that's what the CJ Humphrey moves is going to be all about. I don't think people realize this edition of DJ Humphries is going to help the defense a lot more than people realize. Way more than people realize. When it says a 1-year deal, does that mean only through today or a year from today? No, that's only for this season. That's a good question, Robert. Yeah, that's only for this season. Only for this season. So he's essentially getting $4.5 million for 10 to 9 games. That's a lot of money for what? Essentially half a season, assuming you make the Super Bowl. When I do think this is going to be the big push that helps Kansas City make it to the Super Bowl. And again, to go back to the comment about how people think he's not going to play until like late in the season. You really think you're going to pay that guy $4.5 million to ride the bench for that long? And on top of that, you think, do you think Patrick Mahomes is willing to wait that long? Come on. Thierry says, if we don't beat Carolina by 14 plus points, we lost the game. Why? Why, Thierry? I mean, the Chiefs lost to the Raiders on Christmas, for crying out loud. And, I still remember the reactions that week. Everyone thought the season was over. Everyone thought it was over. Guess what? Chiefs won 15 in a row. Chiefs won 15 in a row. Welcome to D-Hop and Hunt class. Don't know what that means, but okay. I like the in-season edition class. That kind of class. Tell me why Uche isn't starting. In my opinion, he's our best edge rusher. I don't know why. Sean Smith said that he's probably still getting acclimated with the defense, so that might be part of it. I don't agree that he's the best edge rusher, though. I still think that's Karlaftis. I do think Uche has the potential to be very good, though, for sure. Getting an offensive tackle, the Chiefs finally woke up and addressed the problem. Yes. And it's not so much that they woke up. I mean, look, there weren't a lot of guys available. Your best options were Donovan Smith and David Bakhtiari before the word got out that DJ Humphries is medically cleared. So I want to say they just listen. They know damn well that left tackle is an issue. They're not gonna tell you that straight. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they keep getting asked about the left tackle spot in their press conferences. Do you really think Andy Reid will tell you, yeah, Wanye Morris and Kingsley Suamata, yeah, absolutely suck? No, of course not. Mahomes is not going to throw his teammates under the bus either. But just know that they know that, listen, if you and I can see that on TV, they damn well can see that in their film room when they're doing all that stuff. So they know that there's a problem at left tackle. Why else did they make this move? Especially in 7, 8 hours ago, the word got out that he was medically cleared finally. I'll read a few more here and we'll wrap things up on the Spread Friday live chat. So for those of you who are still here, you got a question, comment, whatever's on your mind, please feel free to ask this. If he passes physical, who gets released or sent to the practice squad? Well, they would have to clear waivers first. It's a really good question. Let me look at the offensive line real quickly. I would imagine it's an offensive lineman. If you put Kingsley on the practice squad, I kind of think someone would grab him. Let me ask you guys a question, actually. I got a question for you guys. Simple yes or no answer here. Let's say the Chiefs waived Kingsley Suamataia with the plan to bring him back to the practice squad. Now, by waiving him, he has to clear the waiver wire from all of the 31 other NFL teams. If the Raiders or the Broncos claimed Kingsley Suamataia, hypothetically, but let's say a division rival claimed Kingsley, would you be upset by that? A second round pick from this season acquired by your division rival. Would you be upset by that? Or would you not give a damn? Because you right now have 3 left tackles. Humphries, Suamataia, and Morris. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be carrying 3 active offensive linemen moving forward. I just don't see that. Maybe they waive Ethan Driscoll, the right tackle, who was the backup to Juwan Taylor. I can maybe see that happening. I don't see them making any of their offensive line or offensive wide receivers doing anything there. Running backs, maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire, maybe. because we haven't seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire yet in a game. So I don't. Those are my candidates for who I think the Chiefs will waive and possibly try to get to the practice squad. No, Pacheco is not back this week. He is not. And you know what? Yeah, Cricks. A lot of people are excited for that. Here's the thing. I was hoping they would have Pacheco just to get Kareem Hunt a little bit of a break there, so you can let Pacheco get his feet wet a bit. But you know what? You got to actually think about the Friday game too against the Raiders. If you're Kansas City, the good part about having a Friday game and having two guys coming back from IR very soon, you can have Pacheco and Umenihu, two guys that you're really going to need. Start preparing them physically for Friday. Pacheco and Umenihu, do not worry about the Panthers. You physically need to be prepared for next Friday because Kareem Hunt on a short week, having him get 20 touches, probably not ideal. It would be far more ideal if Pacheco got involved more in that game. Karlaftis, Mike Dana, I mean, that unit, they're going to need some help with the rotation. Joshua Uche hasn't done much for the Patriots this year. So maybe Uche and Omenihu can get far more involved in that Black Friday game next week. And speaking of the Black Friday game, we will not have a Red Friday live chat next Red Friday because obviously the Chiefs have a game next Friday. So that will be nixed out and we'll just do the Red Friday live chat the following week. Trey says, I'm excited. Let's hope he's healthy enough for a smooth transition. Yeah, that's going to be the key. That's what they're banking on. I watched the live earlier and the dude didn't even know Derek Thomas' name. Yeah, I mean, listen, he blinked, Mickey. Come on, man. Like, he's being recorded, obviously. I mean, Mickey, I'm sure there have been times where you were drawing a blank on a name. You just couldn't think of it. It was on the tip of your tongue and you just could not remember. We've all been in those situations. The difference is he's on the radio, he's on TV frequently. So, those things happen with him. I mean, it's not the worst. It's not like he had no idea who DT was ever. Yeah, that's what I think, Kyle. I don't think he is going to start this Sunday. Next Friday, I think you kind of have to. Maybe he doesn't start, but he at some point makes that transition to playing. But by the Chargers game, if he's not starting, I'm going to ask that question. Why? Why not? You're giving the guy $4.5 million for the second half of the season, and he's not starting the Chargers game. Sunday Night Football absolutely has to be a starter. I would be shocked if he's not. Chiefs are minus 10 to 11 favorites this week. Don't they have to smoke that line, the silence, the alarmists? I don't know. Maybe. Well, I think the Chiefs cover this week, though. I went 31-10 with my score prediction. No, because he would not be good on their team either. Let's see. Matthew says, solidify that left side to get to the third Super Bowl in a row. It's all about the three-peat. That's the mission. Yeah. So a lot of you guys would not be mad at all if Kingsley was claimed by another team, especially a division rival. Okay. Yeah, because here's where I'm coming from with that question. Listen, it's a second round pick. Second rounders, they're capable of starting, right? But with your left tackle, I don't know if you can really be patient here. Like if the guy does not show any kind of progress, you might just have to take an L on that second round pick and say, screw it. Listen, the Chiefs had Kavari Russell. Remember Kavari Russell? He was a third round quarterback in 2015 or 2016. I can't remember. I think it was 2016. So the Chiefs drafted Kavari Russell in the third round. And I remember Terez Paylor, the late Terez Paylor, he wrote an article for, I can't remember if it was Yahoo Sports or the Kansas City Star at the time. I think it was the Kansas City Star. And Terez Paylor wrote an article talking about how much progress Kavari Russell had made in practice. And then a week later, he gets cut by the Chiefs. And by the way, the Chiefs were not wrong in doing that because Kavari Russell has turned into an NFL journeyman. So, if the Chiefs just went ahead and took their loss with Kingsley and said, screw it, we just never could get anything going with him. So let's let him go and let's move forward with someone else. I don't know. Listen, Kingsley does have the tangibles to be successful. It's just he hasn't shown that in the NFL. I can see the Chiefs giving him one more year, but dude, if you don't get it right in 2025, you're going to be cut before the midway point. The Chiefs do not have time to be patient with a left tackle. They could maybe be patient with a wide receiver or a cornerback or a linebacker, not left tackle, man. No, you can't be patient at left tackle. If a left tackle is going to come in and start, he needs to be one of the top 10 left tackles in the NFL. I don't want to say top 5, as nice as that would be, but if you're a top 10 left tackle protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side, I think that is very acceptable for the franchise. I remember we took Eric Fisher over a QB one year. Yeah, because the only quarterback really worth taking was Geno Smith, and he fell to the second round, didn't he? Who was it? CJ Emmanuel? I can't remember his name, but he was the only first round quarterback that year. I mean, that was unreal. Here's a crazy thing. You know who was passed on for 2 rounds in that same draft? Travis Kelce. And then who was the other guy? Luke Jokel was the number 2 pick in that draft. I mean, a lot of teams picked another player over a quarterback. So sometimes you have those years, very, very rare, but you have those years where the number 1 pick might not be the year to own the number 1 pick in the Chiefs. That's why the Chiefs got Alex Smith that year. Kingsley didn't get a fair chance as a rookie. He was left alone with no help from a guard or tight end in 75% of his snaps. That's on par with a lot of the top elite tackles in the league. Yeah, but Josh, you gotta show some fight in one-on-one situations, though. Like, you got to be able to hold your ground. And listen, I get it. Trey Hendrickson, I mean, he's the best pass rusher in the NFL this year. But even after that, like against the Broncos, who have a good front 7, but Kingsley just hardly could put up a fight. He had a couple good pass blocking snaps, but for the most part, he was just bad. Chase says, I think you have to be able to move into a starter position at left tackle out of the draft. And if you can't hack it, no hard feelings. But yeah, I agree. If you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, like Joe Burrow, like Josh Allen, Jared Goff, any of these good quarterbacks you see in the NFL, you have to have the best left tackle possible. If you have a top 5, top 10 left tackle, good. That is your quarterback. Look at Joe Burrow. As great of a season he's having, he still has a really bad offensive line. And if he had a better offensive line, his numbers, as great as they are, better than a lot of everyone's numbers, he could maybe even have higher numbers. But Cincinnati, they spent a lot of resources trying to improve the offensive line. And I know that because I saw Bengals fans drop the narrative that I think every single one of their offensive linemen that they've brought in have a Super Bowl win from the past. So that was like the big positive, get behind the offensive line narrative. And that has not worked. That has not worked. Yeah, that was a bad draft class. Yeah, he does lead the league in interceptions, which is not good. I think offensive tackle play is part of that. So hopefully this changes that. Hopefully this changes things like that. Yeah, I mean, that was just a bad draft class. Smith got going for a little bit for a couple of years, but he's just an average quarterback at the end of the day. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of the Red Friday Live Chat in conjunction with the Chiefs Zone podcast. One of the very few rare occasions where we combine the Chiefs Zone podcast and the Red Friday Live Chat. Obviously, a very important podcast today with the Chiefs signing DJ Humphries. Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here. My name is Farzi Visugian. Thank you all for joining me for this edition of the Chiefs Zone podcast and Red Friday Live Chat together. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, please share the links on Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, anywhere where you can go and download, listen to the podcast. For those of you who came in late, if you missed any part of this live stream, this one specifically, again, because of the big news, we are, first of all, they're always archived. The Red Friday live chats on Facebook and YouTube, they are exclusively for Facebook and YouTube. But again, we do have rare occasions like tonight. So you can also check the archive version of this episode of the Red Friday live chat on the Chiefs Zone podcast feeds on Apple and Spotify. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys joining me on this Friday night. Go enjoy the rest of your Red Friday. DJ Humphries, almost official, will soon be a Chief. Should make you all feel really good. Peace out. Take care.